I studied and helped over 300 video agencies and found 6 secrets of what makes the perfect agency. These are the only 6 things that you need if you want to scale your video agency from $0 to $100,000 per month. The perfect video agency starts with this. Number 1 is going to be offer. So until we have an offer that actually solves our clients' pain points, we will never be able to scale. So the foundation of scaling to that $100,000 per month mark is always going to be a solid offer that positions you as an authority, not an order taker or a glorified freelancer. The first thing is we want to define the who. We need to get really clear on who we want to serve, which is our niche. The second thing is what are their pain points? I'm actually just going to use an example here. And let's do chiropractors is going to be not getting consistent new chiro patients. We want to speak the language of our who's. What are they experiencing from a pain perspective as it pertains to how you in business can actually help solve their pain points? Which leads me to the next part of our offer that we need to have clearly laid out and clearly defined, which is their outcome. Most known chiro in their community, consistent leads coming in from social. That is what they're actually wanting. Now we need to figure out how do we get chiropractors who are not getting consistent new chiro patients to become the most known chiro in their community, get them consistent leads coming in from social media, and then that becomes your offer. All we're doing, that's going to be getting our clients from here to here. And this is our offer. You need to become a marketer, not just a videographer. We essentially just need to line item what is the process that gets our clients from where they are to where they want to go. And that becomes the ingredients of our offer, which is our little pill that if our chiropractor takes, then they're going to see a desired outcome. For example, we're going to do a strategy call once a month. We're going to come in and create a bunch of content. We're going to post the content for you. We're going to engage with your community. We're going to run some sort of branding ads with some sort of call to actions. We're going to track that. And then we're going to teach you how to DM people and set appointments from the DM. The more you can become a solution to their problems, the more that they will value you, the more that you will actually be irreplaceable to the companies that you're working with. So after our offer is dialed in, what is the second ingredient that makes agencies so successful? And that is lead generation. Without any leads, you do not have any business. A few ways that we can go about lead generation. The first is outbound. When it comes to outbound, like there's 2 parts of the outbound. One is going to be sphere of influence, low hanging fruit, and that could be where your customers are. So for like chiropractors, if they're spending a lot of time on LinkedIn, you hit the LinkedIn. If they're on Instagram, hit the Instagram. The second way is cold outbound. Okay, this is where you're going to pound the pavement a little bit. If you can't do this and you're trying to grow or start your agency, it's going to be a little bit tricky to have the grit and know-how just from like hearing from your clients on what's actually going to take you to the next level. The second form of lead gen is what we call the authority funnel. So basically this is ads. So if you have a budget of $1,000 or more per month, this is going to be a surefire way that you can scale to the next level. So if we run the authority funnel, you will predictably get new business. You will grow your brand. We have a ad that drives to our Instagram. And what we're doing from the Instagram is we're setting an appointment from the Instagram channel. Then you start to build a community on your Instagram. An Instagram follower to me is a modern day email list because that's where you get to nurture. Once they follow you, you message them, set an appointment from there. They start seeing your content on social media and then they become a client. And then in addition to that, we also have a carousel ad that's educational, hits on the pain points of the chiropractors, gets them to opt in. And then we have retargeting ads that also are going for people who messaged you, people who followed you, and people who visited your profile. The other way that we can do lead gen is cold email. Cold email is good for people who maybe aren't on social media and you want to get in front of the masses. For example, we would run cold email campaigns. We'd send 10,000 emails every single day. We'd get around a 2 to 3% reply rate. From that 3% reply rate, we'd get about half of those being a positive reply, which gives us an opportunity to set appointments from it. So cold email is a fantastic way to scale your lead gen efforts and start getting quick wins. You don't want to set it up wrong and you don't want to go in with a list of 1,000 emails with the expectation that you're going to close deals from a list of 1,000 emails. This is a volume game for sure. So you have to have a lot of contacts, a lot of people that you can reach out to, because without that, then it's just going to fall flat. All right. And the fourth way is simply brand. Building a brand scales trust. It positions you as an authority and it brings a client in literally at no cost to you. So the more that you can focus on brand, speaking to your niche's pain points, speaking to their desired outcomes, giving them tactics, educating them, becoming an authority in the social space, the more that you will get more warm leads, referrals. And if you're running something like the authority funnel, 100% clients are going to check you out on social media and they're going to pre-vet you a little bit. And when you do show up, you want to make sure you make a good impression and you're actually legitimate. So that leads me to step number 3, which is a sales process. So there's really 3 parts to a killer sales process that I've seen work really well for other agencies, including myself, and that's the pre-call process. Having a defined pre-call process before you even talk to a prospect will increase the likelihood of not you just getting prospects, but getting warmed up prospects. So we need to focus on the pre-call, which is the pre-call appointment reminders, having a good intake form before they even book a call, having a video sales letter that you're sending to them before you book a call, and making sure that they know that this is legit and this is a real call and they're not going to waste your time. The second part of the sales process is simply the call process. We want to avoid putting ourselves in a position where the client is overtaking it and then just asking for deliverables from us, and we're in a position to be like, yes, and they're not uncovering the problem, and it just becomes like a really bad call. We want to define our call process, and we have a really good defined process where basically it's the discovery, problem aware, and then you walk through the process. We're looking for the problems and like the pillars, and with the pillars, like once we identify the pillars, we want to go deep on those pillars. After the call process, then the third part is the follow-up process. From the follow-up process, we always book a call after a call. We're not going to leave the call if we don't close them on the first call, and setting up a time to follow up on the conversation with the client. So that is the follow-up process. And then if you do not hear back from them, we are making sure that we are being diligent with 24 and 48 hour follow-ups until we get the answer of yes or no, depending on what the prospect situation, but we need a follow-up process, and we need to keep them organized so that we can do reactivation campaigns with these clients. And the CRM that we use is Go High Level, and we built it out to have really good pipelines so that it is really efficient in our follow-ups. Third one is going to be systems. The only way to remove yourself as a bottleneck in the agency is to have good systems that other people can run. I always say as it pertains to systems, like 1, if you're too busy to build good systems, you're always going to be too busy. And then 2, systems run the business and people run the systems. And the systems in place that we need is 1, we need an onboarding system, automated onboarding system that when a client says yes, they are pumped and everything is completely automated, because the moment a client says yes is the moment they have buyer's remorse. And the best way to reiterate their buying decision is to have a really good experience once they actually pay that invoice. Next is we need SOPs. SOPs stand for standard operating procedures. As a business owner, especially in the video world, you will never be able to grow if you do not have systems and processes in place. We need to create SOPs for every single task that we're doing inside of our agency. Meaning, what does it mean when we edit a video? What does it mean to upload the video? What does it mean to shoot the client with really good lighting? Like, we need to define all that stuff and have it in one place. And that way, when we hire people, we're just delegating them the SOPs, and it is your way of doing stuff. The next is going to be productized process. When we look at our offer, when we look at the steps of getting them from where they are to where they want to go, all we want to do is we want to define the steps and define what happens within those steps. That becomes our productized process. And we need to start creating tasks for that. We need to start automating the tasks so that it's pre-populated, so that when somebody does jump in to do the productized process, it's very clear on what they need to do. Fourth thing is going to be client directory. What we need is a central location basically for all of our clients' information. We can see all of your clients, we can see their payment plans, we can see their onboarding form, where you can house meeting notes, where you can log activity, where you can store the productized process and the task, where you can store their videos information. The fifth thing that is going to make you highly successful is talent acquisition. I want us to look at talent acquisition, not just a privilege for them to get a job, but it's a privilege for me to find them as an A player. So I look at talent acquisition kind of like how I look at client acquisition. I want to market a job posting. I want to blast it to as many candidates as possible with the best marketing copy, which is going to be your job posting expectations of what the job is actually going to be, to speak to the perfect candidates. So what we do to achieve that is we have a talent acquisition funnel. We want to start with a really clear job description. This means we have clear roles, responsibilities, and smart expectations. What are the roles of a video editor, project manager, innovator? Then we have really clear responsibilities underneath of them. So what are we actually having them do? Then underneath of that, we have smart expectations, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. If we do not have expectations laid out, how do they know what your definition of good is? So after we have the job description, we create an intake form, a form that is going to be attached to the job posting that asks them some pre-screening questions like, what's your experience? What's your rate? What are you trying to do with your life? Are you bought into our vision? Like, what do you like about our company? All that sort of stuff that can kind of pre-vet them a little bit. And after the intake form, then we create a really marketable job posting that goes out on every single channel that has the intake form attached to it. Then after we get the job posting up and we're getting hundreds of candidates, 10 fill out the form, and you start identifying the A players. And that's when you can have them send like a Loom video to you just to kind of evaluate from there. And then we do an interview from the people who sent the Loom after they followed all the instructions. Then we do test work for a video editor, for example, is we'll send them a video that's been edited. We'll send them raw files associated, and we'll have them make something cooler or make it as close as possible to the current video. After the test work, then we do 30-day ramp ramp up and we onboard them. So that is the talent acquisition funnel. Last thing is going to be growth. People come into a job not to be task doers. Your job is to plant the seed and to grow them. That means meeting with them consistently. That means giving them a trajectory to growth. That means giving them a vision of how their role is affecting the company and where they can go in the company, given that they continue to meet or exceed expectations. The last point that's really going to help agencies grow and scale is leadership. I'll just speak from experience. When I was growing my agency, I did not see myself as a leader. I was very unconfident. I wasn't sure where we were going. That leaked into everybody that I was working with. Then what I did is I buckled down on my mindset. I buckled down on my personal development. I buckled down on my fitness. I buckled down on learning and honing in on my leadership skills. And that is when the company started to take off. You will only grow as much as you as a leader are willing to grow. We call this the law of the lid by Jonathan Maxwell. So the more that you can work on your leadership, reading the books, investing time into yourself, personal development, fitness, becoming a leader that you would follow, the more that you will start to create that and cultivate that at your company and start to operate at the level that you want to be at. Now that you actually know these secrets, how do you actually apply these secrets into your video content agency? Click on this video over here to watch a full guide on how to start a video agency and scale it from 0 to 1 million in 2024. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.